Hey friends, welcome to my channel Quiz and Storyline. Today, we'll be discussing an intense story. The story begins in a dense forest, where a young boy is seen running in fear. As he moves deeper into the woods, a red bus appears, driving through the trees. After a short distance, the bus halts suddenly due to a tree blocking the path. Without realizing the possible danger ahead, the passengers decide to move forward. As they proceed, some skeletons are noticed along the way. As the bus moves further, the trees around them begin to disappear, and thick fog engulfs the surroundings. The children on the bus become frightened, and the driver is forced to stop the vehicle. When the driver steps out to investigate, he discovers a dead deer lying on the road. After moving it aside, he climbs back into the bus. Suddenly, a man appears from behind, holding a gun and threatening the driver. The man also threatens the children, ordering them to stay seated. One of the children suddenly remembers seeing this man in the news. He was a serial killer who had recently escaped from prison. Even more terrifying was the fact that this man had murdered 3 young people. He was a psychopathic killer. The man forces everyone to throw their phones out of the windows and instructs the driver to continue driving. As the bus moves, it passes a sign that warns they are entering a military zone, but it is ignored. This area was once used for secret research, but no one lives there anymore. There's a tunnel ahead with many lights. As the bus enters the tunnel, it comes to a stop, and the driver realizes the engine has broken down. The psychopathic killer suspects the driver is trying to deceive him, so he grabs one of the children at gunpoint and orders the driver to fix the bus. He warns that if anyone tries anything, the child will be killed. Suddenly, the lights in the tunnel go out, and everyone becomes even more terrified. Strange noises begin to echo in the darkness, and the killer instructs the driver to check what's going on. The driver pulls out his flashlight and heads toward the eerie sounds. As he moves closer, he spots a shadowy figure. When he approaches, he realizes it's a horrifying creature. The driver screams in fear, and the creature immediately attacks and kills him. The passengers, still in the bus, witness this horrifying scene. The killer quickly returns to the bus with the girl he had taken hostage, warning everyone to stay silent so the creature wouldn't see or hear them. The killer attempts to start the bus, but the key was still with the driver, who was now dead. He orders the children to retrieve the keys from the driver's body. A brave girl hesitantly steps out and makes her way to the driver. When she reaches him, she is shocked to see that the driver is no longer alive. The girl couldn't believe it, and tears welled up in her eyes out of grief. However, this was not the time to cry. She quickly took the key from the driver's hand and returned to the bus. Even after sitting down, she was still terrified. When the other children asked about the driver, she shook her head, indicating that he was dead. Hearing this, all the children became scared. The killer threatened one of the boys, saying that if he didn't start the bus, he would kill everyone. The boy tried to start the bus, but it was broken. Another child saw an opportunity and quickly pushed the killer, managing to snatch the gun from him. He pointed the gun at the killer, but the killer laughed and said, "You don't have the guts to kill me." Suddenly, Noises began to come from the roof of the bus, distracting everyone, allowing the killer to take back the gun. The sounds on the roof grew louder, and the children became even more frightened. The killer, enraged, stepped outside the bus and yelled, "Whoever you are, come out and face me." At that moment, his voice abruptly stopped, and a terrifying grin appeared on his face. Something attacked him and severed his head from his body. The children inside the bus were left stunned and silent as they watched the scene unfold. The attacker was a terrifying monster holding the killer's head, with many tentacles coming out of its body. The children decided to stay inside the bus to save their lives, but soon, they started hearing strange noises from outside. The door of the bus opened, and large, monstrous hands entered. The children tried to escape through the other door, but it was locked. They had a flashlight, and by accident, the light fell on the monster. They noticed that the creature was afraid of the light. Taking advantage of this, they kept the monster at bay with the light until the bus door finally opened, allowing them to escape. Once outside, they reached a place where they realized they were near a military base. If it was a military base, there could be lighting and maybe even a control panel nearby. If they wanted to survive, they had to find the control panel and turn on the lights so that the creature would stay away from them. Finally, they came up with a plan to find the control panel, guessing where it might be located. Nalin and his partner went searching for the control panel, while the other three tried to pass the time in strange ways. At one point, one of them said they needed to go to the bathroom, but they were too scared to go alone. Richie went with them. When a long time had passed and there was no sign of them, Nalin turned around and realized they were missing. Panicking, they started calling out and searching for them. Eventually, they spotted one of them, but standing above them was a terrifying creature, about to cut their neck. Nalin felt as if he were about to faint. He distracted the creature by firing a shot, while his companion managed to pull Quinny out from under the creature. The two of them escaped and started running, but Richie was not with them. The creature had pushed Richie into the water, and he was nearly drowning. Blood was flowing, and when the friends saw Quinny's condition, their hearts sank. They were unable to do anything. Just before the monster could devour Richie, the light suddenly turned on, and the monster abandoned Quinny and left. They realized that their friend had succeeded in turning on the generator. Nalin and his companions, who had found and activated the generator, discovered a nearby room with a corpse lying inside. The room was filled with pictures and notes containing information about the monster. It appeared that someone had conducted extensive research on this creature but had been unable to kill it. Nalin and his friends were not there to read all this, they wanted to get out as quickly as possible. As they turned to leave, they saw a shadow in the distance. They panicked and held their breath. Fortunately, it was not a monster but their three friends. Their happiness was short-lived as they noticed a deep wound on Quinny's neck caused by the monster's bite. They became worried that Quinny might become infected and turn into a monster. One of them suggested that they shouldn't keep Quinny with them, but the others refused to do that. They took Quinny back to the same room where they had found the notes. They picked up a notebook from there and began to read. It was the story of a boy who loved exploring new places with his sister. One day, they reached near a military base. The boy stayed behind while his sister went ahead. Suddenly, she screamed loudly. The boy got scared and ran into the forest instead of saving his sister. Despite the passage of time, he could not forget his actions and decided to take revenge on the creature that had killed his sister. He researched the monster and planned to kill it. He even managed to create a machine, but unfortunately, the monster found out about his plan and killed him. From his notes, it was revealed that whoever the monster attacks or whose blood it tastes, it kills them without fail. This meant Quinny's life was in grave danger. Their friends decided that they would complete the work of that man to save Quinny and kill the monster. Quinny said she didn't want to put anyone in danger because of her, but her friends replied that they would all escape from there alive. After some hard work, they completed the machine the man had built, and it was now fully functional. They were very happy, but the real task remained luring the monster in front of the machine. To do this, they prepared a trap. They placed blood-stained clothes from Quinny in an open space so the monster would smell them and come to that spot. They positioned Quinny to lure the monster into the right spot so they could turn on the light and kill it. According to their plan, the monster approached, sniffing the scent of blood and even picking up Quinny's clothes, but it quickly realized it was a trap. Nolan had to press the trigger immediately to turn on the machine, but unfortunately, the trigger got stuck. The monster got closer to Quinny while searching for her. Just as the monster attempted to attack Quinny, their friends managed to turn on the machine at the last moment. The brightness pushed the monster away from Quinny, but it charged toward Nolan instead. Seizing the opportunity, Nolan quickly struck the monster, but unfortunately, the blow was not strong enough to defeat it. They had only one way left to escape and save their lives. Holding the machine, they ran toward the exit. The monster was chasing them, while both girls had already escaped from the tunnel. They sighed in relief and looked back, but their friends had still not emerged. The monster stood at the mouth of the tunnel but did not come out because the light was preventing it. Meanwhile, the three boys appeared, reaching close to the monster, setting it on fire from below as they emerged from the tunnel. The monster was destroyed in the flames, and their plan was successful. They not only saved their own lives but also eliminated the threat for those who would come after them. In the final scene of the story, the children remembered their driver, who had asked them a riddle about what thing helps one out of every trouble. At that time, they couldn't answer the riddle, but now they understood that the answer was courage. The driver had taught them an invaluable lesson, even in his dying moments, which would prove to be very useful in their lives. I request you to help me reach 10,000 subscribers on my channel soon. We hope you all enjoyed this video and that you will like it. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much for your loving comments, and see you in the next video.